Hi Drum, so this is OR again. Now this is about a video on how to use the copy contributions function that you can find on the paste. So you have copy and paste options here, right? On the output sections. Okay, so first before we get started, I just want to go to the automations page and just recall everything to the default so you know where I'm at. So I'm just going to recall the save scene, and now everything's back to how it's supposed to be from scratch. And I have a preset file loaded here, so I'll just go to the naming page and load the naming preset that I have. Alright, so we have the drums, the instruments, guitars, pianos, and vocals. I also named the outputs there. So at the front is your front monitor, drums, bass, guitar, and your older standard stuff. Okay, so you have your inputs here. You have your, I don't know if you can read them, so let's see. So that's where you have your inputs. You can see it better on the screen, I guess. If I go to the screen, alright, so you have your inputs there. And the first thing that you want to do is, if you notice, when I recall the save, the master bus is not selected on all of the inputs, right? So what I can easily do is select one of the inputs and then activate the master bus. That's going to activate it for that one, and then I can copy it, select left click copy, and then right click paste to all. Alright, that's going to show me a warning. Just hit OK, and now everything's being sent to stereo. Right, so all the channels now are being sent to stereo, to master bus. Next, we're gonna look at the auxiliary sense. So notice everything is off. All of the auxiliaries are off. We have our names there, and everything is post fader. What we can do is select the master bus, the auxiliary that we want to change, and go to the configure tab, the clear transparent button there, and then select contributions to pre. So when we do that, if you go back to your input, if you go back, I can't show you the input, but it says kick in. If you go back to the input and then select the auxiliary, you'll now see everything is on pre-fader. Even if you go to other channels, everything on auxiliary one is on pre-fader. Now that's one way to do it, but you can also, what you can also do is turn this on and pre-fade everything. I'll just do it here so it's faster. Alright, and then once I have that set, I can just copy that and then paste to all. Alright, so notice now every channel that I go to has the same setting. Alright, and to demonstrate the copy contributions function, I'm gonna have to go through to flip mode. So I'm just gonna give you an example here. So I have auxiliary 1 as my front monitor, or the monitor in front of the stage for the singer. Right, so front monitor, auxiliary 2 is my drums, and then auxiliary 3 is my bass. So for example, I get started with the drummer, and he starts asking for the kick. So you see the kick there, a little bit of kick out. Maybe he wants a hi-hat next, and then snare top and snare bottom. So that's going to be his mix. He wants maybe his toms, not too much, and then maybe a little bit of the bass, and then vocals, and then guitars, right? And just a little bit of synths and piano. Okay, so let's say we're done with the drummer and he's happy with his mix, and then the bass player goes on to say, I think I'm happy, I'm gonna want to have the same mix as the drummer has, because we're really best buddies and I just want to get what he's getting. So what you can do from there is select the bass. Okay, so that's bass, and then what you can do is start copying it until they align. You can do that manually, or you can just go to the drums auxiliary. Let's go to drums auxiliary, right click on copy and select copy contributions, and then select the third auxiliary, which is the bass, and then paste contributions from there. And notice what happens when we select that. So it's gonna sound exactly the same as the auxiliary 2 that we have. It's gonna have exactly the same sound, especially if they're using the same monitors. It's also useful if all of a sudden you have another musician that just came in and you have your mix going on, and instead of like sending it one by one, you can just copy. For example, he's a percussionist. You can just copy the drums, the drum mix, auxiliary mix, and then paste it to the percussionist that just arrived. Alright, so I hope that's been clear to you. Let me know if you have any more questions. Thank you.